So this is where it all started. The Air Hogs rescue helicopter, right?
Yep, the Air Hogs rescue helicopter. So we used to fly that down in the basement quite a bit. And that was probably one of the first RC helicopters that we had, right?
Yeah, I think that was maybe the first. It had a little lift hoist on it that we had a basket to,
Yeah.
and flew it around the basement. Crashed it a lot in the basement, but it definitely took a beating, but it survived until one day we took it outside.
Yeah, one day I thought that with no wind, even though it was supposed to be an indoor RC helicopter, I figured, well, let's take it outside and see what it can do. And in the yard behind us, just kept going up and up and up. And unfortunately, I kept getting it closer and closer and closer to a tree until finally it got stuck in one of the big evergreen trees at the very top, and we were unable to get to it.
And it stayed up there for what, probably at least 1 year, probably
Maybe 1.5 years.
Maybe closer to 2, yeah.
Yeah.
So once it came down, we did try and use it again, but it ended up not working, which, I mean, it was up there through rain, snow, ice, whatever else. Yeah. And then we have gotten some other ones of the Air Hogs. Unfortunately, they don't make the Air Hogs anymore.
Right.
But we gotten some other helicopters similar to that, which we also flew around inside.
And we have a large covered area between our we call it our patio, in between our garage and the rest of the house, and it has a decent size, decent height ceiling, and so once again another place that we could fly it, indoors. So that was nice.
So after we got a couple of these helicopter looking things, we switched to the Traxxas Alias quadcopter.
Yep.
Got it for probably maybe my 10th birthday or something.
That's right, we were trying to remember that. Yeah, somewhere around that time.
Probably 5 or a little over 5 years ago.
That was probably the first, one that was considered at least a hobby level type of outdoor drone. So we did. I'm not sure that we ever flew that one inside because it is a little bigger,
I don't think so.
A little more difficult to fly inside and find room for. So we actually would fly that, out here in the yard. And actually got that one stuck up in a tree at 1.2, a different tree. And I can remember flying it one night, getting it stuck in another huge evergreen tree, and our neighbors coming around, and I was trying to use a large snow rake.
Yeah, he was in the bed of the truck on a stool with a big snow rake for roofs, swiping at the drone. He did eventually get it though, so and it worked after that still. So
did.
And then I think it doesn't work currently. I think maybe, I don't know, motors are bad, motherboard's bad, something. This motor doesn't work. It slowly spins whenever you try and put power on it. So then after the Traxxas Alias quadcopter, a couple of years later, I got one of these Holy Stone mini drones. They're obviously quite a bit smaller, but for inside. And then my dad started his Part 107 training.
Yeah, so last year, Simon here had found an ad in the newspaper for a Part 107 class that they were offering at the Greater Johnstown Career and Technology Center, so the VOTEC over in Johnstown. And I had called because he was interested in it, and they were looking at offering it to adult students, and so he wasn't able to take the class, but they were offering it for $100 and
for a 35-hour
class. So it was about 32 to 35 hours. About half of the time was spent flying DJI drones, and the other half in the classroom preparing to take the Part 107 certification exam from the FAA. And so I said, well, you know what? Why not? I'll go ahead and do this. So I ended up doing that last fall, and then last November, studied quite a bit for the test, because I was really surprised at the amount of material that was covered on the exam, and took the exam in November and passed it on my first attempt. So I was pretty happy with that. But then had wanted to get a DJI drone in the November timeframe, but then it started snowing here. So it was not a good time. And snowing. Yeah, kind of like the rain this summer. And so it just wasn't a good time to buy the bigger, nicer outdoor drone. So Simon had actually had this one still around, and it still worked for some time. And in order to, get practice over the wintertime with the controls, because the stick controls, even though there's no camera on it, the stick controls are the same setup as the Mode 2, essentially, that DJI users are familiar with. And so we flew it around the house quite a bit.
Almost every night for a while during the winter.
Yep.
And got pretty good at flying it around the house. And
yeah.
That correlated directly with flying the DJI Air 3S that you've now gotten.
Yeah. So then this March, we, I finally bought the DJI Air 3S, did some research into which one that I really wanted. And, I had settled in on the Air 3S because I thought it was a little more capable. It's a bigger drone. So it had, whether I was going to fly it for commercial or recreational purposes, it still needed to be registered. But it has a dual camera, and it is a little heavier than the Mini 4 Pro that I was looking at, which was kind of important up here because we get a lot of winds up here. So if you might have seen video footage that we've done around our home, and there's windmills and such around us. There's a reason for that. There's quite a bit of wind going on up here. So I wanted something that was a little bit heavier, a little bit sturdier against the wind. And so far I've been very pleased with the Air 3S and its performance.
So that's our drone journey.
Yeah.
And we'll keep flying the Air 3S, and he's gonna make a business.
Yeah.
And we'll keep posting YouTube videos about stuff.
Yep.
And he will have some about the Part 107 specifically, and whatever else.
Yeah, so I plan on doing some videos for, not just kind of showcasing the videos and the photographs and things like that I take or that we take with it, but also to kind of build a portfolio, to hopefully launch a business, but also to provide some Part 107 tips and information to people who might be interested.
All right. Thanks for watching.